Good morning, everybody. Whoa, quick hands, baby. Today I want to talk about the 5 biggest mistakes home gardeners make when trying to grow tomatoes. Super easy to fix, super easy to correct. Check it out. The first mistake they make is they don't do succession planting. They plant a smaller tomato like this one next to a larger, older tomato. So when the older one finishes out, this one produces. This extends your growing season longer. So as the older, more mature tomato plants are providing you with food, the younger plants are just growing. Look here at this tomato plant. It's doing really, really well, giving lots of tomatoes. But over here, we have another tomato plant that's younger. So when this plant is done producing fruit, this plant will be in its prime producing fruit. Here's another example of succession planting. So you've got these beautiful, massive green tomatoes. Down here, you have a little tomato plant. But when these big tomato plants here, which are almost 6 feet tall now, are done, this one will be doing well. This will be gone. All this light and space will be freed up, and that plant will flourish. Look at the size of that heirloom down there. Massive. Get a picture of that for you. Look how beautiful that is. I'll show you how big they get when you pick them. That's how much bigger they get as they ripen. We'll be eating this one today. Beautiful, beautiful variety. From that to that. Another example of succession planting. You've got a little tomato plant right here in front of this big tomato plant. So when this one finishes off, that one will come next. The next biggest mistake home gardeners make when growing tomatoes is they let them grow on the ground. They don't support them. They let them get out of control. One thing that you can do to help grow more of these bad boys is grow your tomato plants vertically. Not everybody may have the space to grow a trellis system like we have here, but if you do, it's the best way to grow tomato plants. So these tomato plants right here in the middle are pushing about 6.5 feet tall, and as you see, we support them on a string as they go all the way up. The string simply wraps around the tomato plant and keeps it going straight up in the air, and they grow vertically, so therefore they're not all over the ground, frees up a lot of space on the ground to grow other things. And they don't get disease, pests, and mildew. Love going vertical. They will follow that string right up. And if you get another look here of succession planting, which we just talked about, here's that other little tomato plant right in front of these big ones. As those finish off, this plant will take their place, and you'll keep getting tomato after tomato after tomato. The third mistake home gardeners make when growing tomatoes is they leave pollination up to the insects. Don't do that. You're the top of the food chain. So instead of letting the pollinators pollinate all of your tomato plants, you can finger pollinate. Simply come in here, rub your fingers on the flowers, and just go flower to flower. It's really easy to do. You'll increase your yields immensely. When you're out here in your garden, just go flower to flower. You don't have to if you don't want to, but if you want massive amounts of fruit and vegetables, you will finger pollinate. You could also get a little paintbrush and do this. I do it with my pomegranates, and I'll show you that in another video. Mistake gardeners make when growing their own tomatoes is they don't get rid of the smaller sized fruit. Here's a perfect example of pinching out the odd sizes on this tigerella plant. This is a really little plant. The fruit's really little. But if you look at these tomatoes here, at their size, you've got 3 that are similar sized, 1 that's really tiny. Get rid of it. Same thing down here. Really similar sizes, 1 little one. Get rid of it. The 5th mistake home gardeners make when growing tomatoes is they wait too long to cut them. They wait too long to cut them. Don't make that mistake. You don't have to wait until these tomatoes are red on the plant. That hinders the growth of the plant, hinders the ripening process of all the other fruit. So, cut them when they're orange. They'll ripen up on your counter, and it allows that plant to put the rest of that energy into ripening the rest of the fruit. And as you can tell, we got a ton of fruit on these plants. Here's a perfect example. This tomato right here is fully developed, even though it's not fully red and ripe. All you got to do, remove that one from the plant. As you can see, it's got some green there on the top, but that is a fully developed tomato inside for flavor and everything else. So do not wait until all your tomatoes look like this. Pull many of them off the vine when they look like this. If you pull them off the plant when they're still a little bit green, but they're orangish red, this will fully ripen on the counter and turn out to this. This will allow your plant to transfer that energy into the remaining tomatoes. Your harvest will go a lot longer, your tomatoes will come out a lot bigger, and the plant will appreciate it. It won't be exhausted, and it'll keep producing for you. Those are the 5 biggest mistakes that home gardeners make when trying to grow tomatoes like these. If this helped you out, please hit me up with a like. It really helps. And as always, please subscribe.